IVSA Algeria. Oh wait, I forgot to tell you what to do. Dance. Do you like the choreographed dance thing? Showed you guys on Facebook last night? Yeah. Okay. IVSA Algeria. Well, IVSA Austria. IVSA Belgium.
Afrika tot in Amerika, waarom de Himalaya tot in de woestijn. Van Afrika tot in Amerika, ja, we zijn zoveel mooier als we samen zijn.
IVSA IVSA Czech Republic. IVSA Croatia. Sorry, I don't know the alphabet.
We're busy right now.
I got you. Okay. IVSA Denmark. IVSA Estonia. IVSA Finland.
Pää, olkapäät, peppu, polvet, varpaat.
IVSA France.
Peter. Tripod. The tripod.
IVSA Germany.
Thank you.
IVSA Ghana.
Okay.
IVSA Greece. IVSA Indonesia.
Me? I can do it.
No?
Okay.
IVSA Iraq. Hold on. Where'd it go? say Italy. Vincenzo, what the heck? IVSA, the Netherlands. IVSA, Poland.
Krakowiaczek jeden, jak godziku 7, pojechał na wojnę, ostał mu się jeden.
IVSA, Portugal.
Bos di mana, Bos?
For the record, Portugal is currently in the lead. IVSA, Romania. IVSA, Scotland. IVSA, Slovenia. IVSA, South Africa. South Africa has taken the lead. IVSA, South Korea. IVSA, Spain. IVSA, Switzerland. IVSA Taiwan. IVSA Thailand. IVSA Tunisia.
شوفوا موسيقى قصاب وسكر ومسود بالجرافيكا يا وينك يا ابو افريقيا
IVSA Turkey. I think I gave you a seashell. IVSA UK and Ireland.
On the way to the floor. It touches like that,
I'm embarrassed for you. IVSA Algeria. IVSA Indonesia. IVSA Latvia. IVSA Serbia. We have reached quorum at 69%.
Okay, next up on the agenda. This doesn't work yet. Hold on. Nominations for the 70th IVSA Congress.
Yeah.
The chair will accept nomination. Are there any nominations other than the Netherlands? Seeing none, nominations are closed. They will also be open in GA7. Next up on the agenda, elections.
All right, good morning, everyone. What a big important day we have today. We're going to elect a new IVSA officials for the next year. So I hope you all had a chance to go through the nominee forms and listen to the presentations and have discussions. We won't have a lot of time today to discuss, so I hope you have your votes ready. All right, so I'm just going to go through the whole procedure and how it's going to work. So please pay attention. This is important. If you make mistakes on the voting ballots, it will be thrown out and your vote will not count. So it's very important that you understand how everything will work now with the different elections. All right, so there's two different types of ways we're going to vote today. For executive committee chairs, and well, the hosts generally, but we're not going to vote on them because it's only one nominee. It's going to be election of the nominees shall be by preferential written ballot voting to obtain an absolute majority. I'm going to have examples later on that I explain how that works. Just take note. Then for secretariats and trust, shall be by plurality at large. That means the nominees with the highest number of votes are elected to fill the available positions, whether or not they have a majority. Right. We're going to do the election procedure in the following manner. We'll be saying we won't vote on those because only one nominee. So for each different section, all the candidates must please leave the room when the election starts. So if it's for executive committee, all nominees for every position on the exco have to leave the room because they can't be present when the votes are being cast. All right, so we're going to do it the same way that we did the other voting for the guideline amendments in terms of how the procedure works. So just to recap, one delegate per voting entity comes to collect a written voting ballot for paper, for trust one paper, and for chairs you get paper. So our election committee will make sure that you get this correct amount of paper, and then when you return it, also make sure that you return all of it. So on these papers, there will be 2 columns on each voting ballot, meaning that each voting entity will need to cast 2 votes per position. So for example, you'll have PRC in two columns, so you'll be able to cast 2 votes. So just make sure that you fill in both sides. Right after the last ballot has been handed out, each voting entity must return the filled-in ballot to the election committee, folded twice, stating the name of the voting entity to which they belong. So just make sure if the bylaws we folded it once, now we fold them twice. Okay. Right, so for the voting procedure for exco and committee chairs, I'm going to write on the right side of each name a number in the block showing the order of preference, with 1 being the most preferable. So currently we only have 2 people running for each position. So it's fairly simple. You either make a 1 being the person that you would like to be elected, or 2 the person that you don't want. Or you can abstain, but I'll get to that now. Right, for secretariats and trust, you're going to place a mark, an X or a cross, just that, not a tick or a circle or anything, a cross, in the box on the right side of the name of the person you want to vote for. So you can make up to a maximum of 16 crosses for secretariat and 12 crosses for trust. The reason for that is you've got 8 secretariats and you get 2 votes. So in essence, you get 2 votes for each of them. That's why you get 16 votes in total. But that's the maximum. If you go over that, if we count that you make 17 or 18 crosses, that whole vote gets thrown out. So just make sure that you count correctly. That's 16 crosses for secretariat and then 12 crosses for trust, because we have 6 members of trust. So you cannot vote against someone, but you can abstain by not expressing your preference for one or more candidates, up to all candidates, causing a maximum abstain vote. That in essence means you leave the 2 blocks empty. If you don't know who to vote on, if you don't have any preference for one of the 2, then you can leave it empty. Okay, so I hope you can all read up there. So these are just examples of the ways that you can vote today. For example, executive committee, it's the voting ballot for executive committee position, the public relations coordinator, PRC. Please rank the nominees from 1 to 2, with 1 being the preferred candidate, or abstain. So in the first one, for example, Daenerys Targaryen runs against Jon Snow for the position of PRC, and you have a preference for Daenerys Targaryen, you make a 1. And if you don't have a preference for Jon Snow, you make a 2. Alright, second way you can vote is if you only have a preference for Daenerys Targaryen, you can abstain your second vote for Jon Snow. Third way is if you abstain both. If you don't have a preference for either, you can abstain both votes, meaning leaving it empty. And the fourth way, which is will be invalid, is if you only show your least preferable member. So what that means is you can only abstain from 2 onwards, meaning you have to make a 1 or abstain, if that makes sense. You cannot just put a 2 in, because then the vote will be invalid, it will be thrown out, and it will not count. So very simple. If you like the person that, if there's a person you'd like to vote for, just make a 1 next to their name. That's all we need. Okay, so for secretariats, I'm just going to read. So please make it a tick, a cross next to the name of the nominee that you would like to elect, a maximum of 16 crosses. So if for secretariat there will probably be around 20 positions running. So you will have a maximum of 16 crosses that you make. So again, please just make a cross. Nothing, not funny business. This is serious. It's an official election. So we need to be strict. All right. So again, maximum of 16. We will count them. If it's more than 16, it will be thrown out. It can be less. If there's only, for example, 4 people that you think is adequate for the job, you can make 4 ticks or 8 ticks next to their names. And you can go to a maximum abstain vote, meaning leaving all of them empty. But you cannot make more than 16. So just to clarify, there's 2 columns, meaning you have the 2 votes. So in essence, you can make a maximum of, in order to make a maximum of 16 votes. Right. So for trust, same as secretariat, only difference is you have a maximum of 12 ticks process. And then for committee chairs, it will be the same as exco. So once again, preferential written ballot, you make a 1 next to the person that you would like to be nominated to win, or the most preferable one, and you cannot just make it 2. All right, I hope that makes sense. So just to recap, what will count as invalid votes? You must please read the information on the voting ballot carefully, as invalid votes will be thrown out. Make sure to follow these instructions. Only mark with an X or a cross in the plurality at large votes, which is the secretariat of trust, and mark from number 1 onwards in the preferential votes, which is the executive committee and committee chairs. And again, you are only allowed to make a maximum of 16 crosses for secretariat and 12 crosses for trust. If this limit has been exceeded, the whole voting ballot will be thrown out. So don't make that mistake. You will influence the vote, and yeah, that will not be a good thing. And then also just remember, fold each voting ballot twice. So if you get 3 papers, you fold all 3 of them twice, and make sure that you have all of them in. Okay, so just some general things to keep in mind. Criteria of voting. So voting is anonymous and important, so you don't have to put your country name on that. We will know if we have enough. If we have the number of voting ballots that we handed out by just ticking off your name when you bring it back, but we won't be able to see who gave which voting ballot. So it's anonymous, but also very important. I mean, we're selecting the next group of officials that will spearhead IVSA into the next term. So yeah, it's very important. So it's a long-term choice, not only for next year, but also for the future, because it's always something that we need to continuously build on. So yeah, by voting for someone, you state that you trust that this person is the most suitable for this position. It doesn't necessarily mean that you like this person. So try to be objective and not biased. We are trying to get our best team together, being the most capable. Yeah. So please think carefully about the candidates that you choose. And then just a couple of things that you can take into consideration. Things like personal attributes in terms of organization skills and ability to work in a team, motivation and dedication to IVSA, relevant IVSA experience and other experience which might be relevant to the position you're running for, and overall who you think is most suited to the position and whose selection to that position will result in the largest overall benefit of IVSA. All right, do you have any questions? Yes.
Katie, I see Germany, so it's not possible to split your vote if you think both persons would be doing a good job. You have to choose someone.
So on the voting ballots, you'll see, for example, you will have two columns. So basically, on the one paper, there will be 4 blocks. The first 2 will be PRC, the second 2 will be MOD. So you will have a chance to vote once and twice, right? So yes, you can split the vote if you think there is, or if you have a big MO and half, if you think the one is most suitable, the other half think the other one is, then you have two blocks that you can vote in. So the one you can give a preference for example, the nearest Hungarian, the other block for John Snow. So that is possible. You will see when you get the ballots, there will be a chance to vote twice. This is that. So fine. Right, any other questions? Is everyone clear on what we're doing and how we're going to do it? We will start with executive committee. So it will be the preferential voting. So fairly simple, micro one next to the person that you think will be best candidate, and you get 2 votes. And you will be called out according to Emma. I'm just going to see if you are ready. Right, we're just gonna make sure everything with the voting ballots is correct. So,
Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to stand at ease. Kylie, any discussion on standing at ease? No. Any objections to standing at ease? Seeing none, we're at ease. That does not mean you can get up or leave. You're just like here, hanging out, and chit chat. If you haven't discussed the nominees with your MO at all, you have a minute or two while we do that.
Well, it's actually this.
No.
They must Thank you very much.
Okay, look alive. We're starting. The chair calls the GA back to order at 9:51 Croatia time, and we will continue with elections.
All right, guys. I'm sorry for the delay. The printing, for some reason, some blocks were cut off, so we had to include that. But we're still going to follow the same what I've explained at the top. All right, so how are we going to do this now? We're going to start with executive committee. So then the people running for any extra positions will leave the room. We will hand out 3 papers to each person because there's 6 positions running, so 2 columns, 2 on each paper. You're going to have the time to vote. When you're done, you're going to fold it twice, you're going to return it to the election committee. Then we're going to do committee chairs, which will be the same way as voting as the executive committee. So once again, we'll pull you forward. We'll get 2 papers. We will vote. We'll bring it back. And then the people for trust, we will vote on trust third. So every time that we vote on that specific group, those people running will have to leave the room. And then after the 3 of them will be done, the election committee will go outside. We will count everything and make sure that everything is valid. And the chair will continue with another point. And then the reason we're doing it that way is because we can't give you the secretariat the list right now because we first need to see which members are elected to the executive committee. And then those not elected will be added to the secretariat pool. So that list will still need to be made after voting for the executive committee. All right, does everybody understand? Are there any questions with regards to the process or what you're voting on or how you're voting on? All right, if you do have questions throughout this process, just put up your hand or come speak to us and we will explain that. Right, so we're going to start with Exco, executive committee. So then all the nominees leave the room.
Hi, you know how this works. We're gonna do it a bit more slowly than last time. So we're gonna start out with IVSA Algeria. IVSA Austria. IVSA Belgium. IVSA China. IVSA Croatia. IVSA Czech Republic. IVSA Denmark. IVSA Estonia. IVSA Finland. IVSA France. IVSA Germany. IVSA Ghana. IVSA Greece. IVSA Indonesia. IVSA Iraq. Where is Indonesia?
Yeah, no.
Over.
But they might come.
Yeah, so you can pass.
Good show, that's recognized.
I would say Italy. I would say the Netherlands. I would say Poland. I would say Portugal. I will say Romania. I will say Serbia. I will say South Africa. I will say South Korea. I will say Spain. I will say Switzerland. I will say Taiwan. I will say Thailand. I will say Tunisia. I will say Turkey. I will say UK and Ireland.
Leader. The chair will entertain a motion to stand at ease. Emily, any discussion? Any objection? We're at ease. Now you can talk and fill out your ballots. If you have questions about the ballot, please raise your hand and don't just guess. You will lose your vote if you do it wrong.
I already wrote things right. You got it right. I just want to check.
I'm gonna mute it.
Okay, remember to fold it twice, not once, twice. I'm gonna start the hand in. Individually, the three papers. Fold the papers individually twice. Okay, IVSA Algeria. IVSA Austria. IVSA
IVSA Belgium. IVSA China. IVSA Croatia. IVSA Czech Republic. IVSA Denmark. IVSA Estonia. IVSA Finland. IVSA France. IVSA Germany. IVSA Ghana. IVSA Greece. IVSA Iraq. IVSA Italy. IVSA the Netherlands. IVSA Poland. IVSA Portugal. IVSA Romania. IVSA Serbia. IVSA South Africa. IVSA South Korea. IVSA Spain. IVSA Switzerland. IVSA Taiwan. IVSA Thailand. IVSA Tunisia.
Yeah, my charger doesn't like it.
You have to blow it.
IVSA Turkey. IVSA UK and Ireland. Thank you.
Peter. Okay, the chair recognizes IVSA Indonesia as present in the GA. You can continue. We don't have to clap, but you can if you want to.
All right. Do you want to just explain what that means?
Indonesian is roll call, so the chair has to recognize them in order for them to vote. That's why they were not allowed to vote, correct? So now they're recognized and can vote.
All right. Thanks everyone. That did quite smoothly. So we're going to do committee chairs next. It's going to be the same method of voting as we did for Exco. So again, make one for your most preferred and two for your least preferred. So can all the nominees that ran for committee chairs please declare. Everyone running, so even if you are not, even if you're not contending against anyone, you have to do that. Alright, so everyone's still fine, know what we're going to do next. Same with Exco, make a 1 or 2, according to your preference. Yep.
Okay, you're gonna have 2 papers and remember to fold it twice, each paper separately. And we're gonna start out with IVSA Algeria. Yes. I will say Austria. I will say Belgium. I will say China. I will say Croatia. I will say Czech Republic. I will say Denmark. I will say Estonia. I will say Finland. I will say France. I will say Germany. I will say Ghana. I will say Greece. I will say Indonesia. I will say Iraq. I will say Italy. I will say the Netherlands. I will say Poland. I will say Portugal. I will say Romania. I will say Denmark.
Gus, you can't talk to another country. Gus, no. He's gonna come help you. Wait.
I will say South Africa. I will say South Korea. I will say Spain. I will say Switzerland. I will say Taiwan. I will say Thailand. I will say Tunisia. I will say Turkey. I will say UK and Ireland.
Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to stand at ease. Owen, any discussion? Any objection? You're at ease. Anybody need more time? Okay, don't forget if you need help to ask. Gus, is that a hand for help? Any more time? Okay, that's fine.
I already sent you this. I think 20 minutes.
Hey, everybody in the doorway, you're not supposed to be in the doorway, even if you're an official. You should really be in here seated. We're at ease. You're not allowed to leave. Come back in, you're not allowed to leave. Okay, Keel. I see what game we're playing. Just you wait. Anybody need more time? Just wave your arm if you do. You good? Okay. The chair calls the GA back to order at 10:16 Croatia time, and we will continue with elections.
Fold it twice. IVSA Algeria. IVSA Austria. IVSA Belgium. IVSA China. IVSA Croatia. IVSA Czech Republic. IVSA Denmark. IVSA Finland. Estonia, sorry. IVSA Finland. IVSA France. IVSA Germany. IVSA Ghana. IVSA Greece. IVSA Indonesia. IVSA Iraq. IVSA Italy. IVSA the Netherlands. IVSA Poland. IVSA Portugal. IVSA Romania. IVSA Samoa. IVSA South Africa. IVSA South Korea. IVSA Spain. IVSA Switzerland. IVSA Taiwan. IVSA Thailand. IVSA Tunisia. IVSA Turkey. IVSA UK and Ireland. Thank you.
All right. Thank you, everyone. So we're going to do the third vote now. It's going to be on trust. So just make sure this is a different type of vote. So instead of making a 1 or 2 or 3, you will make crosses in the blocks, the people that you'd like to elect. So you'll have a maximum of 12 crosses. So you're going to have 2 columns of blocks. So in essence, if you have 6 people that you think will do the best job, you can make 2 crosses next to their names, and this is a maximum of 12. So just make sure that you don't have any more ticks or crosses than 12, otherwise the whole vote will be thrown out. And yeah, do you guys have any questions on this particular vote? All right. Tina. Sorry? Sorry, it's the trust nominees. Please read the rules as well.
Are you ready? Make a cross, nothing else. I will say Algeria. I will say Austria. I will say Belgium. I will say China. I will say Croatia. I will say Czech Republic. I will say Denmark. I will say Estonia. I will say Finland. I will say Germany. France, sorry, France. I will say Germany. I will say Ghana. I will say Greece. I will say Indonesia. I will say Iraq. I will say Italy. I will say the Netherlands. I will say Poland. I will say Portugal. I will say Romania. I will say Samoa. I will say South Africa. I will say South Korea. I will say Spain. I will say Switzerland. I will say Taiwan. I will say Thailand. I will say Tunisia. I will say Turkey. I will say UK and Ireland.
Yeah, sure. The next question. Just ask you to make some. Yeah. So you could keep your study in the Netherlands with that money. Oh no, I was be able to figure that out. And then I thought just like no. No. We can take this one.
It's just a dog. Vote instead.
Yeah. Oh, I thought
Does anybody need any more time? Any more time? Anybody need more time? No. Okay.
We're gonna start. Hold it twice. IVSA Algeria. IVSA Austria. IVSA Belgium. IVSA China. IVSA Croatia. IVSA Czech Republic. IVSA Denmark. IVSA Estonia. IVSA Finland. IVSA France. IVSA Germany. IVSA Ghana. IVSA Greece. IVSA Indonesia. IVSA Iraq. IVSA Italy. IVSA the Netherlands. IVSA Poland. IVSA Portugal. IVSA Romania. IVSA Samoa. IVSA South Africa. IVSA South Korea. Jesus. IVSA Spain. IVSA Switzerland. IVSA Taiwan. IVSA Thailand. IVSA Tunisia. IVSA Turkey. IVSA UK Island. Thank you very much.
All right. Okay, thanks everyone. That will be it for now. So the three of us, the election committee, will be leaving the room now. We're gonna go count these three sections of votes, and as soon as all of that has been done, we'll be able to know which executive committee people got nominated, got elected, and then those that were opted to run for secretariat as well that did not get elected will be added to the secretariat pool, and we'll vote on that once we come back. So there we go.
Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to table elections. Kylie, explanation of what we're doing. In order to stop the elections, talk about other things, and then come back and give you the results, we have to table it. Are there any objections to tabling? Hearing none, that point is tabled, and we will continue. What do you want? Wait, yeah, who left? Okay. Yeah, we'll do a break soon. Please stop leaving. Also, while we're waiting for them to come back, general reminder, stand at ease means stand at ease, not leave the room to go fill your water bottle or pee or do anything. You have to ask. Yeah. What does he mean? Georgios, make your way down here. That's you. Yeah, there we go. Okay, next on the agenda, Standing Committee on Veterinary Education Student Ambassador Prize Winners.
Good morning, everyone. So glad everybody is almost one. I would unfortunately have to say that due to a lack of viable candidates and some problems we have been having with the current sponsor, I will not be announcing any winners this term. However, I would like to make two honorable mentions. One is Winter Kusuma from, I cannot remember this country right now, I'm really sorry, and Andreas Papas from Greece, who have still done a very good job this time. Thank you.
Okay, next on the agenda, scholarships and other programs.
All right. So I'm just going to tell you about a few exciting opportunities that we have. Most of these have been mentioned throughout the GA, either by us somewhere in our presentations or by some of our partners. So this will be the second time you hear it, so don't forget it. The first one is the MSD Animal Health and FBE Scholarship, the program that they have. So basically, FBE and MSD got together and they have $180,000 US available for scholarships, and they will be awarding 36 scholarships of $5,000 each to European veterinary students, and the aim of this is to enhance their academic experience. So who can apply to this? You have to, first of all, there's some criteria. You cannot apply if you have already received any MSD FBE scholarship in the past. You have to be a second or third year veterinary student currently enrolled at a recognized veterinary establishment in your country. So that's the EAEVE accredited establishments. So unfortunately, this is limited to European students. And then obviously, like I said, a citizen of the European country. So how do you apply? So you can apply by email to francesco@fbe.org, but the application forms are available online, both on the FBE website and Facebook page, as has been mentioned before, as well as on the IVSA website and Facebook page. And the applications close on the 30th of October. So please, if you are interested in applying, go onto those pages and go download the application form and apply. Any questions on the FBE MSD scholarship? No? Okay. All right, the next one is the FICAVA Euro Congress Student Travel Scholarship. So this was a scholarship that was opened up a little bit earlier this year. And it's basically to cover travel and accommodation costs to attend the FICAVA Euro Congress in St. Petersburg from the 4th to the 7th of September. FICAVA and IVSA signed an agreement in 2018, and IVSA has assisted the scholarship program by advertising the opportunity to our members. Then we receive the applications on behalf of FICAVA and helps them to select the top 20 candidates, and then from there, FICAVA selected the top 10 winners of the scholarship program. And as you can see there on the right is a list of the students who have received the scholarship and where they are from. So congratulations to those of you who have received this. All right, then from there on, EAEVE, the European Association of Establishments for Veterinary Education. Once again, I'm sorry, this is also only for European students, but this is a program that we have with the EAEVE where we help them find young veterinarians and vet students to get involved in the visitation of the different schools. So they then go out to the vet schools and do visitation, do interviews with students, see how things go, and that kind of assists EVE in the process of accrediting the schools with them. So basically, just EVE is an association formed by the veterinary establishments in Europe. The vision of EVE is being the official accreditation authority for veterinary education establishments, and with this maintaining and developing high quality level of veterinary education. And then the EVT is basically the visitation. So that is the evaluation and accreditation system for veterinary schools. Okay, so basically what's in it for you? It's an amazing opportunity to visit another faculty. You gain a lot of insight into other teaching methods and curricula, and also gain experience in the educational and quality assurance field. Your travel expenses and accommodation is covered by the establishment that you will be visiting, and you then get to evaluate the student experience in that school and spend time with students from a different faculty. There's some criteria for applying. All of this information is available on our website. So please go have a look. You need to send all of those documents into the Secretary General, and we then pass that information on to EAVE, who will then contact you within the next year to let you know if you have been accepted to go on a visitation or not. Any questions on EAVE? Katie?
Katie, IVSA Germany. So I talked to our dean of the university in Hanover about this scholarship, and he told me that apparently not that many people are applying. So I was wondering how things are. Do you have any feedback?
Yeah, so I had recently had a meeting with the president of EAVE specifically regarding that. So we have a few issues that we've encountered. First of all, is the fact that we're getting a little bit of pushback from the deans of different faculties because the students are struggling to get time off of their rotations to actually go on these visitations. That will be addressed by EAVE, and they will make sure that they get in touch with the deans so that we can try to push from the dean's side as well. We are advertising to our students to get them to let them know about the opportunity, but we need help from the top down as well. So Eve has told me that they will work on working together with the deans of the different faculties to make sure that they are more supportive of the system, because that's a very big stumbling block that we're currently experiencing. And the other thing that was a bit of an issue is the time limit, because they want final year students. It becomes really difficult, and they've been taking quite long to send these things through. So they are working on a process of shortening that time to just at least get the turnover a little bit quicker if the students are applying, and like letting them know exactly what is going on before too much time goes by. So we are working on that, but yes, it is something that we have been addressing. Jessica?
Jessica Kramer, IVSA Germany. Do you happen to know which university will be the next for the EVE accreditation, so which students can go?
Unfortunately, I have no idea. How it works is you send in your application, and they will then place you at an appropriate university. So they have certain students, they look at the different universities where you come from and where they would like you to go, because they want to send you to a university that is at least somewhat similar to the one that you're studying at. So you might not be placed at the one that they're going to next. You might only be placed at one that they're going to in like a few months or even a year. So it's up to them. Any other questions? Laura?
La Chevalier, IVSA France. How long about are the visitations? Like, how long do you have to figure out to like clear time from your courses, more or less?
It's 1 week, yeah. It's 1 week that you need, but they let you know a few months in advance usually. Yeah, and you then have to do an online course as well. Sorry, I haven't been on this. I'm not a European PEC student, so. If you have any questions, you can talk to Tab. She knows a little bit more about the specifics of the visitation itself. But yeah, if you're interested, please come chat to her and send in your application. All right, I'm going to carry on. So then here is the every extramural practical training programs. The Despina, who is here from FEE, has also mentioned this, and it's something that I want to encourage you guys to look into and to apply. Especially keep going onto the website because they keep getting new opportunities that come up, and if there's anything that seems interesting, I would highly encourage you to apply. So basically what they do is they're supporting students to do practical training in less common areas of expertise. This past year, they supported 3 students with up to €800 each. The upcoming programs that they'll have will support 6 European students from different countries to do specific practical training in areas like agriculture, bee health, and veterinary public health. Those are just the 3 that's definitely coming up, but hopefully they will have more available soon. How you can apply is you go to the FBE website, then you go to the About FBE sector, and you'll see there's sections every, and you scroll down and you'll see, there's my little pointer. You'll see there is the extramural practical training, and there are the links that you can apply. So there, and you can just click on those links. All right. Then lastly, there are a few other opportunities and discounts for students that you can go have a look at. They are all also listed on our website. So you go to the IVSA website, click on what we do, go to opportunities, and this will pop up. So there's VetPG Student Ambassador Program, where you can apply to become an ambassador for VetX Student Ambassador. They do soft skill training, and it's quite a cool program that they run. Then the VetPD programs, there are quite a few opportunities under that. BSABA has some international scholarships that you can look into. Then Fear Free also provides quite a few discounts for students. So you can, it is free for students to enroll, so you can go have a look at that. And then the OIE has the internship program that you've already heard about. So go have a look, and if you're interested in doing that, I would also highly encourage you to apply. Do you have any questions on any of these programs that I've listed? Yes. These ones? This is on our website. This is literally a screenshot from our website. So please go onto the IVSA website and go have a look. Like this is literally a screenshot. So all the links and everything is on there. You'll find all the information on there. Yes.
So we always get information about what's not required.
Yeah. Whenever any of these come through, we send them through to you via the EO bulletin. So you would have received at least most of these. I think there's only one that you might not have received. It's just we don't put them necessarily in every single EO bulletin because we try to prioritize certain information. So it will be in one at least. And then if you are looking for anything, just go onto the website, go browse around a little bit. This will be like sort of left on the website in a like semi-permanent basis. But you will receive everything. You do receive everything through your bulletin, so please make sure you read that. And the newsletter.
And the journal.
That is it from my side, but if you have any other questions, you can just come chat to us about this.
The chair will entertain a motion to go into recess. Lord, any discussion on going into recess? Any objections to going into recess? We're in recess. Don't move. The OC has an announcement. Okay, hold on for 1 minute. Meg also has an announcement, so we'll do that first. Get over here, Meg.
Hi guys, as some of you might know, we ran the Animal Welfare Conference in Munich a few years ago, last year. I just wanted to let you know that we're opening the call for the next Animal Welfare Conference. So if anyone's interested, please come speak to me. We will be posting the call on the Facebook page. It's a really, really great opportunity if you're not MO, get involved in animal welfare and hold an international event. Jessica Kramer is also here, as is Katie. They're both in the OC last year, so we're all happy to answer any questions. Please, it's a really, really interesting event.
Okay, are you ready?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so today you have workshops. Workshop lists are this time here on the board, same as the list for sports day. We have limited number of places, so spaces. So just if you don't want to go to workshop, you don't have to. That's it. And also scrubs, lab coats, sneakers. Yes, and everything starts at 4, so you have to be here at 3:45 in front of this room.
Okay, thank you. Brian, do you have an announcement too? You just move it. Good. Okay, we're in recess for 15 minutes. Please be back at 11. Or I will steal your right to vote. I can't do that, but I'll try. So you can actually type that like hours.
About emails.
Yeah.
I sent you email. Did you get it about that
Yeah.
we don't get emails?
Yeah, I
Is it
already.
possible that you just try to send us one email?
Your
Yeah. So if it works or not.
last year, right?
Yeah.
Okay, send. Well, I already sent one.
No. April is the last one.
I send the email to the IVSA and all the jobs. Yeah, this one. Like you say.
Like that's that is a bit of a problem for us. Like I don't really understand. Like the girl who made it, she don't understand as well. Like because it is very hard to actually go from Gmail to like ML.
No, actually, it's
Yeah.
then just put the signature up here as IVSA model.
Oh, missed it. Ryan, yes.
You missed that.
And then for the plus,
Same password.
yes, I select the
Oh, I should have posted my own profile picture. Sweet to onion bucket sweet. It's been Ryan, Aaron, and so
It's all right. Ryan, what's your Instagram handle?
Cool.
it's a
So yeah,
Yes, my dear.
so all the email from the MOD will be sent.
Thank you so much.
There's a lot of messages.
Mm.
So that was the problem that it's wrong.
Yeah, used the wrong. Kind of look like this is the all the bulletins that is. So yeah, like yesterday. Maybe still.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much.
Yeah, well, it's
Getting your messages really takes time.
There's a lot of messages. Like it's yeah.
So wait, so this email I'm getting into, like, it was made from Gmail, right?
Yeah, not Gmail, but from Google account.
Yes. But first we made like gmail.com, then we transferred it to IVSA email.
No, it's a different thing because this email is like so we have this server called we have two servers IVSA.org and IVSA.org, and for all of like Amos email we use the IVSA.org, so we don't have to register your Gmail account. So it's kind of when we have new Emo, me as a PRC, I automatically like make one email.
Yeah, because when we made like this, when we were organization like 1.5 years ago, that's what we understood, like from how we make a member organization that we have to make. That's why it was such a struggle for us.
Yeah.
So we kind of didn't understand if you actually make it.
Yeah.
It did not get that. I don't know how. I don't know why, but yeah.
Yeah, well, it's
Probably the English part.
no, maybe because MOD should like inform the new MOD. Hey, so maybe maybe the MOD and but that's okay.
I think so. No.
Yeah, the first one. And Fury wasn't in the final, but Fury was one out.
We use another only for so you didn't use the other one?
No. And what is the password? Or that's the
No, I think the other one is just for like European cyclists.
Oh, no, I don't know. It's not in language. Do you know the password?
Because we can ask someone like European.
So, like, everyone is like in all Europe.
All European, yeah.
But he was talking to the OC.
I'm not even in Europe. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
we haven't talked.
at each other, and then the OC came and they like,
Oh my god. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, glad to.
And so, the password is IVSA 19. So
It's Latvia 19.
and it's here. So. Yeah, go through. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Way better than now.
Like it makes sense.
No, it's Fridays at 6. You just text it. FYI, I'm leaving it if you want Can I leave that because yeah? Oh yeah, I'll just
again. Everybody sit down. France, are you part of Portugal? I don't think so. Okay. Sit down, everybody. Sit down, sit down, sit down. Wow, look at that. I appreciate that. Okay. Thank you for coming back so much quicker this time. I think you guys are learning how to tell time. Or you're just tired and want a chair. I don't know. I appreciate it. The chair calls the GA back to order at 11:02 Croatia time. The chair will now entertain a motion to take the motion on the resolution for Morocco off the table. Daniel?
Daniel on IVSA Exco, I so move.
Okay, any discussion on taking it off the table? Any objections to taking it off the table? Okay, the resolution is on the floor. Division.
Okay, so we are just talking about the resolution. We've already discussed symposium and concerns. So the questions got sent to the OC from Morocco, and they responded. They've written them all down. I put it on the drive. We've had 4 or 5 days, something like that, to read through them. So right now, all we're doing is now the motion's been. Is it been moved? No. Yeah. Okay. It's now been moved. So any discussion on the resolution?
Kristen?
Kristen Abraham, IVSA Austria. I move to amend the resolution and, sorry, yeah. Tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready to go for it.
Okay, to strike out maybe further adjusted or.
Where is that?
Second point. Maybe further adjusted or, strike it out. It said should be above condition, yeah. Maybe further adjusted or. That one?
Yeah.
Make it in red or something. Okay. And at the discretion of the exco, still striking out. And insert has to be before cancelled.
I'll change the color, settle down. I did. You're annoying me.
Sorry.
Is that it?
That's it.
Is there a second? Okay, discussion on the amendment to the motion.
Should I talk about it?
You're welcome to.
Okay. So I have a few words to say about that. So first of all, I want to say I know they are very motivated, but motivation is not all there is to planning an event. I still want to give them the benefit of the doubt, though, because they really put a lot of effort into this planning and even running for the upcoming symposium. I still don't see the kind of progress that I would love to see so far into planning. We are now 6 months away, starting off simple, and the only money they acquire is the fee payment, which they haven't received and might not because of last-minute dropouts. I'm very concerned that when the last time they were presenting this budget to GA, what must have been encouraged in South Korea, the OC said it didn't change that much. I still think the resolution is good. I just feel it is quite late to say wait for another month and then let's see. If we cancel it on the 24th of August, the new chosen country, or MO, has 147 days to plan an event, which is short but still possible. I just fear that if we wait any longer, we won't have any event at all in a worst case scenario. I feel like we have to be a little strict about this situation because I don't think saying it will turn out eventually is going to help us. And going to an event and presenting IVSA is important, and I know they want to show us the best of the country, but I'm not sure that is how, that how is currently, yeah, it's going to work. That's basically it. When it was talked about in South Korea, it was 6 months ago. Since then, not much changed, and I'm not sure if in another 6 months we will have an event. I'm sorry, and it sounds a little harsh, and I know that, but I just want this to work out.
Any more discussion on the amendment to the motion? Kylie?
Guys, my IVSA Sama. I agree with your point. I was also in South Korea. There isn't a lot that has been changed, but I'm concerned that getting rid of their ability to just adjust the event, like removing things like formal dinner and the more expensive parts of it. Sorry. Okay. Like they could stay within budget by removing the excess, and we could still have the event with what's necessary and required, which is the GAs, workshops, etc.
Thank you, Kylie. Any more discussion? Tabishi?
We should hand it my mistake. Exco. So just to discuss our resolution, the way that it's now been put at this amendment, the whole are cancelled in 1 month if they can't prove, that they can hold a budget. However, that means on the 24th of August next month, a special SG call will have to be made. So then, if they're not sure by that time, and a month isn't very long, they still can adjust the event. So we discussed if formal dinner was taken up and or adjusted. I had a lengthy conversation with Mehdi about it, and he basically wants a really big formal dinner, and that's why he's over budgeted it. So that's why the budget looks as bad as it is. However, he did say it's very possible that they could do a formal dinner for much less than that. They just wanted to put it in the budget and not put it in the budget, So yeah, I would not cancel them in 1 month and have it as a special SG.
Crystal?
I just want to know if, to talk about IVSA France, I just want to know if it is very necessary to start thinking of a potential country or candidate for the emergency meeting after we cancel Morocco. Can we have like a short period when we are thinking about another country for the emergency meeting, so we don't lose time to organize it and still get open the discussion with Morocco during, I don't know, a short period of time. So we're not like closing the door, but we are making it short.
Thank you, Crystal. But in the future, it does have to be actually about the motion that we're talking about, which is just this amendment. But noted regardless. Any more discussion? Nikhil?
My concern currently is, will the month be enough for them to do anything, considering 7 months has already passed, and from previous discussions, I might have missed them, but from what I understand, you have been trying to get them to adjust dramatically things, and they haven't really been very open to it. Is a month going to make that difference? Yeah, that's just my question. And does taking it away from the executive committee actually give it, like if we say it has to be cancelled, it does remove the ability for the expert to look at it. But do you guys believe that in a month's time, if they haven't done what they need to, the expert, they're actually going to listen to what the experts are?
Thank you. Any other discussion? Glenn?
Glenn J. IVSA Kumasi. If Morocco doesn't meet the condition is their backup country for the municipal as well.
So then that isn't just not how it works. If they were to cancel, there has to be a call for a country to host it. So we don't like have an assigned backup country in advance because that assumes they're going to fail. And we don't want to do that. Right? Okay, thank you. Any further discussion on this amendment to the resolution? If it's not about the amendment to the resolution, I'm going to call you out of order. Okay, board.
Chevalier, IVSA France. I was wondering if maybe instead of having to cancel the whole event, we could say that if they do not meet the conditions, they have to host the event without the whole formal dinner or something like that. Instead of has to be cancelled the whole event, we could rephrase it to cancel only formal dinner and keep the rest of the symposium.
Thank you. Any further discussion on the amendment? Meryl?
Meryl Knoops, IVSA again, Belgium. If they were to cancel only formal dinner, are we sure that there isn't any money that has to be paid? Because if you make deals with, like, if you rent a room or like a location, sometimes there's a contract and you have to pay. So if we cancel formal dinner, are we sure that they don't need to pay anything? Because then canceling formal dinner isn't gonna cancel out the money that we're losing.
Okay, thank you. Any more discussion? Yeah.
So just sorry, it's a bit just a comment on Akil's point. A month may not be enough, and that's why we've come to this resolution. So if they can't show us in a month, then they can adjust the event, which means cancel the formal, take out some things. So I haven't stipulated you must remove formal dinner, and you haven't stipulated you must remove workshops, but that will be the discussion in a month. So if they haven't met the requirements, so that's what the resolution is, if they haven't met the requirements in a month, then EXCO/MOD will enforce either adjustment of the formal dinner or other events, so it will be under budget at that time, well, in budget at that time.
Lisa?
Lisa Buren, IVSA Netherlands. I think it's also important to consider, in case we take up the amendment as it is right now, if there is going to be an SGA, that will leave less than half a year for a country to organize an SGA, and that is really, really difficult. So it's also a risk to take on, and personally I believe it would be better to, give Morocco, the advantage of that and say that they can adjust their budget instead of setting up for cancellation already.
Yeah, parliamentary inquiry, good.
Just check.
See your name, Akil.
Akil Tina, IVSA alumni. Parliamentary inquiry. Can we just double check if there's a specific date for the SGA? If there is an SGA, just to answer, because I don't believe there is a specific set of dates that it has to. Symposium has to be held between the 1st of December and the 31st of January. I don't think SGA or Special General Assembly would have the same requirements, but I might be wrong.
Okay, thank you. Brandon, already know.
I will find the exact point in the bylaws, but it basically says that it is meant to replace the event that was canceled. So in theory, there is no hard, fast rule about it, but it should go in the same place as the canceled event.
Did you read it? I was talking and not reading.
So if the exco in office at the time the Congress or Symposium was due to be held, will convene a special session General Assembly to replace the General Assembly loss due to the Congress or Symposium that is not being hosted or canceled.
Thank you. Any more discussion on the amendment to the resolution? Anya.
Anna Huge, IVSA Krakow.
Anya, you have to talk to me.
Sorry. So Anna Huge, IVSA Krakow. I think postponing this decision 1 month is not ideal because, as people previously mentioned, they didn't meet requirements in 7 months. So 1 more month will not really change much. And I think it is the time for us to make the decision right now if we want to go with Morocco and just adjust the event after this 1 month, cancel some stuff from the itinerary so that they can meet the budget, or just not go with Morocco anymore since now.
Thank you, Anya. Christy.
I was in Christina IVSA Greece. I think that the formal dinner is not the main problem. They have in their presentation many suggestion actually, like cultural dinner before the cultural evening, vaccination days, and workshops and open lectures. They didn't say that it's already inside the program. They said that we can do that, and after our questions, they answered that we can remove them. What if we remove that kind of stuff and we leave the formal dinner, or we can remove formal dinner as well? Will be 1 month enough for them to make the symposium possible?
Thank you. Any more discussion on the amendment to the resolution? Kirsten.
President Abraham, IVSA Austria. My problem is that, as was mentioned before, the formal dinner is not the main problem. If they just would take the formal dinner out and everything would be fine, I would not be standing here and talking about cancellation. I was part of an exco who had an SGA. I know how hard it is to organize an event. I was former OC, but my problem is since around 6 months, there hasn't been any significant change where we can really say, okay, they are moving forward, they are doing stuff. I don't want to take this away from Morocco. I think they're motivated, I think they can do it, but there has to be something done now. And you have to pay for certain stuff. They cannot say we have 61,000 euros because they don't have them in their account. If they have any location, they have to pay a certain amount and they don't have money for it yet. And when they were talking about the program, they would say, yes, we didn't put in the flights fees for, like they wanted to have external lecturers. We didn't put that one in the budget because we think we can make it work, that we have like a sponsorship with an airline. So this one is also not in the budget. So the budget is even worse than we have seen it. And I don't say that if we strike our formal dinner and we look at it the 24th of August and it's fine, then it has to be cancelled. It's just, I'm sorry.
Thank you. Kylie.
Kylie Small, IVSA Sabma. My concern with the way that it's written right now is that even if they are moving in a proper direction as the month goes on, by changing it to this wording that has to be canceled unless there is a budget surplus for all of the demonstrated contracts, we have to cancel it even if they've started to accumulate enough money in order to like make the event possible by removing things. We've removed the ability for them to adjust their event even if they have enough money moving in the correct direction. I think it's important to note that other OC teams that have been here have also stated that at this point they did not have all of their contracts signed. So I don't think it's unfair to give them another month to at least try. I mean, a month isn't going to make that much of a difference for SGA at this point, and SGA is SGA.
Okay, thank you. Meg.
That's for point of information.
Say your name now.
Greg Rowland, IVSA UK Ireland. Point of information, if we cancel in a month, how do we then decide who does SGA? Do the executive committee vote on that, or do we vote on that?
Make it a parliamentary inquiry.
Yeah, it would be the exco that would be in office at the time of the event, so it would be Elvin's exco. But the way the bylaw is read is the exco that would be, so it will not be, it is not up to y'all's exco, it will be up to the exco that will be in office at the time of the event, not at the time that this says it's at the time of the event.
You can't hear that? Is that what that means? He said it's up to the exco at the time of the event. So that would be the exco that you elected today, whoever they may be. Okay, any more discussion on the amendment? Glenn? Yeah. But I didn't see her hand and I called on Glenn.
Glenn from IVSA Ghana. And if a new country is selected for the symposium, wouldn't it be too short a time for them to prepare for the symposium?
The previous SGA was planned in 3 months, so no. Thank you though. Charlotte, way closer to your mouth.
Do we know when the applications would open for Morocco? Because my concern is that they have to be open for 30 days. So by the time they select people and these people pay the fee, it could be a long time before they actually get money into their account, especially if they don't have sponsors and they have to use this money to book things in advance.
Applications would open 12th of September. Answer that part of your question. Any more discussion on the amendment to the resolution? Chibishi.
I just want to point out that Morocco has been really forthcoming. Whenever we've made suggestions, they've been really open to them. And if you remember, in South Korea, we were discussing that the accommodation was the major issue in the budget. It was way over budget. They were putting us up in hotels. It was the only way. However, we raised this with them, and they tried really hard, and they talked to many people, and they've now managed to secure us free accommodation in their faculty. So I do believe that if we gave them a bit more leeway and gave them up until this date and then told them we need to adjust the events such as formal dinner events, raise the concerns about vaccination days and all of those other concerns, that they would be able to do this. They have been really, I can't think of a word, good.
Any more discussion on the amendment to the resolution? Kirsten.
Kristen Abraham, IVSA Austria. My problem is that, as you all said, they are moving, but we don't know yet if there will be any point of time where we can say we can make that event happen at all. And my problem is that if we wait longer, let's say October, and we say, oh, oops, it doesn't work out, and SGA has to be called, then organizing an event will be very hard. And we were lucky that we had America did the time when SGA was called, but we cannot only rely on America all the time. Sorry, I love you.
Thank you, we love you too. Any more discussion? Anyone who hasn't spoken already? Katie?
Katie Lewis, IVSA Germany. So you said that they resolved the question about accommodation, but is it fixed? Like, do we have a contract, or is it just word that they have a word?
That's not really to be trying to answer. Okay. No contracts have been signed. It is verbal, but if you remember the last discussion, it is a cultural difference that they do things there. There's been no in past exchanges and stuff. That's just how it happens. No official contracts.
Any more discussion on the amendment to the resolution? Not the resolution, the amendment to the resolution. No more discussion? Christy, go for it.
I'm also interested in IVSA agrees. Can we suggest them to keep only the things that they have already signed with sponsors? Not the suggestion that they will they present us in the last presentation. It will be enough for them to 1 month to prepare the Congress, the symposium. If they will keep only the things that they already have planned and signed with the sponsor or with their faculty.
Okay, thank you. Any more discussion on the amendment to the resolution? Okay, seeing none, there are clearly discrepancies and disagreements on this amendment, so we will do a card raising vote. Prepare your cards. Each country should get 2 votes. You can only raise 2 cards. Green cards will mean that the amendment, as written there, the red parts will be removed and the bolded part will be added. If you raise your red cards, it means it will go back to the original wording. Okay, the chair will entertain a motion to stand at ease. Kylie? Discussion on, thank you, discussion none. You're not supposed to be talking. I'm talking, not you, hold on. Any objections to standing at ease? Hearing none, we're at ease. Now you can talk. If you don't have your voting cards, you can come get backup ones. But you were very naughty and you should have brought them.
Yes.
Did you talk with
My
your
body.
bodies yet?
Yes. Now my body become two because Glenn also asked me like yeah regular. Have you thought yours? Have you thought yours?
I don't know that.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Hey, everybody, are you confused? What's happening? What, are you telling me to be quiet? You need more time. Okay. What does this mean? Sit down. I'll sit down. Okay, everybody, pay attention for a minute. I can give you more time if you need it, but I made a slide that may or may not help you. So what you're voting on is an amendment to the resolution, and afterwards we will continue to discuss the resolution. But first you have to vote on this. So green cards mean that last point will read like this. So the event has to be canceled. And red cards, it will go back to the original wording, which was the event may be further adjusted or canceled at the discretion of the executive committee. Are there any questions for me on what it is you're doing? Do you need more time to discuss green versus red? You do need more time? That was a yes. Okay. Are you okay, Jeremy? You look stressed. Yeah. You have 1 minute. Go. Greece, are you all right now? You're good. Germany, you good to go? I'm sorry, but I really can't give you all day. You're gonna have to. Okay. The chair calls the GA back to order at 11:40 Croatia time. We will now do a card raising vote on the amendment to the resolution. Raise your green cards now. Cards down. Raise your red cards. Okay, cards down. Motion fails. Motion fails. What? Yeah. Okay. Good job, guys. You voted. I'm proud of you. Can you stop the music, please? We're in GA now. So we're back to the resolution as presented right there, and it's open for further discussion. Meg.
grown and GB in Ireland, we would like to know how long they will leave after the 24th of August before they like make a decision to cancel. As in, will they set a deadline, or the EXCO set a deadline after the 24th of August as to when they will cancel?
Thank you. Anyone from EXCO interested in responding? Yeah.
Swedish manager, I'd say EXCO, as soon as possible.
Okay, great answer.
Yes.
Go for it.
Yeah, Turkish IVSA employment. So basically, what we were just discussing, we think that even more time for signing contracts doesn't make any sense because of the cultural differences. In Morocco, they usually don't tend to sign any contracts. So probably in 1 month, nothing is going to change. So what we think is maybe much better to start thinking what to do with this program right now, maybe give them some help. And canceling it, maybe, in my opinion, personally, doesn't make any sense because they already have something much more than any other chapter would try to organize from the beginning. But I think they just need more help and support to organize it. But we have to start to think about it right now.
Okay, thank you. Any more discussion on the resolution? That's it.
Akil Gina, IVSA alumni. I'd like to make an amendment to the resolution to include that the event may be further adjusted to include at the minimum the following: accommodation, food, general assembly venue, a tour of the city, and X, and culture evening. Okay.
Is that what you wanted?
Yes.
Hold on. No, we don't need to hold. Where do we need to hold on?
We can make regular amendments here. Okay.
Hold on. Is there a second?
Second.
Okay, go.
Okay. Everyone can make friendly amendments. I know that's not perfect English. I'm not a native English speaker. So let me just put something to you guys. According to the bylaws, the OC must cover the minimum of food, accommodation, and general assembly access. The point was made that the chances are that contracts won't be really a thing, but we should make sure that the entire event is wanted to be attended by people. This sets very set rules for what the expo should ensure is there, and if there's extra money left over, they can add things like formal dinner, X, Y, Z, and that's to make sure that at the very minimum people get to do and get the important things, which is the general assemblies, as well as get to see the city and tour a bit, but it also doesn't then burden excessive cost. And I don't know, I think this is a better way to give them the ability to know what they have to do as well as the next expo, without setting such a hard restriction. And this is at the minimum. So if they've got the money, we can add all dinner. If they've got the money, we can add more tours. Because according to the bylaws, they can also say, well, we've got food, we've got accommodation, and we've got access to the general assembly venues, and therefore they covered their minimum cost plus 15% of unexpected cost, and only 30 days in advance they can say, okay, well, this is also what we're going to add according to the bylaws. So this will clarify what they must then give to the delegates before. Hope that makes sense.
Thank you. Any discussion on the amendment to the resolution, which is the bolded part? Christy.
I was in IVSA Greece. Can be the city tour like a small optional tours with fee, like we had yesterday here in Croatia, to collect money from the delegates as well and help in that kind of those things.
Okay, thank you. Julia.
Julia Neves, IVSA Switzerland. I don't really understand why we should add this to the resolution if it's in the bylaws anyway.
Okay, thank you. Any more discussion on the resolution? Kylie?
Parliamentary inquiry, so to just read what's actually required of them and symposium again.
Brandon, can you do that, please? Well, thank you, Brandon.
So official parts of a Congress are simple. Exco meeting, General Assembly meetings, Development Fund auction, EO meeting, cultural meeting, professional lectures and workshops to educate the attending audience.
Okay, thank you. Any more discussion on the amendment to the resolution? Kirsten?
So if we would pass this amendment, would that mean that everything Brandon just read would not be required to be in the symposium?
The bylaws would supersede this. The bylaws are the governing document, so no. I believe both would apply. Any more discussion on the amendment to the resolution? Christy?
As a person in IVSA Greece, if I heard correctly, the lectures must be in the symposium. So they said that they want to bring lecturers from other countries. So it will be cost more. Can we ask them to forget that kind of stuff and just ask from their local lecturers to have presentations for us?
Sure. But that is not the amendment to the resolution. So let's focus. But it's noted as always. Any more discussion on the amendment to the resolution? Julia?
Julia Neves, IVSA Switzerland. I just don't understand the amendment, like the way it's phrased, because the event may be further adjusted to include all of these, but include all of these in what? Could you maybe specify?
Akil, you look like you're gonna talk, so go for it. Akil. Thank you.
Akil's in IVSA, I don't know. I actually realized that I might have made a slight mistake. Can we, so it actually would probably be better in the part of to a budget surplus of 15%, and that would make sense. Sorry, in my own head, I messed that one up. So that way we can say that, that they can't just say, cool, we're covering X, Y, Z, and we know that in the fees, you are going to get the different aspects as well. And then we can make things that what it should definitely include, and that can be up to you guys as a whole, if that makes sense. But thank you. I was like trying to do this up. So I make a motion.
You've done this so many times. I move. We're all tired.
I know, especially with me speaking. Okay, I move the amendment to a budget surplus include, and then put that whole section there, if that makes sense.
Here or here.
To after budget surplus.
Yes.
Is it okay? Good. There's a second. Okay. Hold on just 1 second, and then I'll let you talk. Just to be clear, all we're talking about now is moving the line up. That's all. So if you're going to talk, it better be about moving that sentence up, or I'm gonna be upset. Anyone want to talk about moving the sentence up? Seems like a no. Any objections to the motion? Hearing none, motion passed. Now we're back on just discussing the sentence and where it is now. Would you like to discuss that? Jacqueline, go for it. Jacqueline Wilson.
Jacqueline Wilson.
That's what I said.
Why do we have that sentence? Because it's in the bylaws. So why do we have to see the bylaws anyways?
Thank you very much. Don't yell at me. Akil, what's up?
Akil, IVSA alumni. Parliamentary inquiry, if I'm correct, there's only 3 parts of that that's included in the minimum fee in the bylaws, not all of it. But parliamentary.
Brandon, you want to read the same thing again? Yeah. Do we need it written up here? See, people seem confused.
Okay, so to explain what Akil tried to explain, the official parts of Congress and Symposium that I read earlier are things that they have to have. However, in the finances section of Congress and Symposium, the Congress fee itself only has to cover accommodation and food and access to the GA venue. So I believe his idea is that this would basically add on to that list, that the fees cover more things, or more things need to be included under that umbrella.
Thank you, parliamentarian. Any more discussion on the amendment to the resolution? Fatima. Just say your name before you do it.
Fatima Mayet, IVSA South Africa. I moved to amend the amendment so as to remove any redundancy. So to basically remove accommodation, food, and general assembly from the amendment so that we remove redundancy, because we also have to adhere to the bylaws and just include the extra bits that have been added.
Is that what you wanted? Excellent. Is there a second?
Second.
Any discussion on removing the red stuff? Georgios.
Thank you, Brian. Georgios Kusada, my IVSA agrees. I am not sure if it's gonna fall under parliamentary query or whatever, but does in IVSA specific overrule general? Because if that is the case, and we remove this part of the amendment, that would mean that the only minimum requirements by the OC would be, I cannot read that far, I'm sorry, I forgot the I talked about the tour of the city and something else.
We have already answered that question. The bylaws are always in place, so no motion that we're going to make right now will supersede the bylaws. They might add to them as they are in this case.
So can you repeat that, please?
All of the things that Brandon read out from the bylaws would still apply, as well as these things.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Any more discussion on the amendment to the amendment of the resolution? Are there any objections to the amendment to the amendment? Is that an objection? Is it an objection, yes or no? You can't, you have to object or not object. Okay, just tell me you're not objecting. Honey, object or don't object? Okay. You know what happens when we object, right? Card raising vote. You just pulled a Peter. Okay, everyone get your cards ready. Do you want to withdraw it? Okay. But I've threatened you to never do that again. Okay, are there any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Pause. Okay, now you can discuss the amendment, which is that sentence, the bolded part. Yes, go for it.
Henry Kim, IVSA South Korea. So this original sentence that Akil mentioned is just to help the OCs out to get things clear. So I moved to get that original sentence back that Akil mentioned. The accommodation thing, I want that back on.
Oh, that's out of order. Because the GA just voted to remove it, so you can't move to put it back. Akil.
Akil, I did say alumni can, to satisfy the previous speaker's point, we could also just include in the bylaws. I'm not making that motion, so don't say that. If the previous speaker would like to make that motion, she can say to include the minimum plus the bylaw kind of thing. On top of this, guys, these are just a couple of points. If the General Assembly feels that they want to add more things that should be definitely included in this budget that's provided by the OC, this is your time to speak and add those things. Like if you want a formal dinner, or if you want to have X, Y, and Z. Thank you.
Sure thing. Jacqueline.
Thank you, again. I don't know if I should say this at this point or somewhere else, but I'm just wondering, we have 15% for unexpected costs, but if they only do verbal minutes, there is a chance that it doesn't happen. So is 15% enough to cover the chance that things that cost a lot of money might not happen and cost even more?
That was absolutely the wrong time to do that. But that's okay. I'll let you do it anyway. We are only discussing the bold part, and then after we're done, we'll discuss the whole thing again. This could be, no, unless you want more people to talk about it. But they can't talk about it now. Got it? Cool. Any more discussion on the bold part? Lord Shalom.
So to go back on what Akil just said, to make sure that they understand what's awaited of them, I move to amend the amendment to say to include the minimum stated in the bylaws and the following: tour of the city and cultural evening.
Is that what you said? Okay, is there a second? Okay, I think that's what I added. I'm gonna make it, I don't know, blue. Okay. So now all we're discussing, well, that's very good. All we're discussing is the blue part. Any comments on the blue part? Fatima?
Surely that's just creating more redundancy with that item earlier. It's implied that you follow the guidance and the OC.
What she said was, this is adding in redundancy that she was trying to remove, and she's upset about it. Jackie Chan.
Jack Chan from IVSA UK and Ireland. I agree, this might be redundant, but I think it provides a lot of clarity on the bylaw. Everything mentioned in the bylaw should be included in this session bylaw.
Thank you, Jackie Chan. Jackie Chan. Any more discussion on the blue part? Any more discussion on the blue part? Okay, any objections? Hearing none, motion passes. Okay. Now, the bolded sentence. Any discussion on the bolded sentence? Yeah, Tama, go for it.
To have IVSA and friends, well, I move to amend this bold part to just get rid of the cultural evening, which is already stated in the bylaws.
You can't just raise your hand. Is there a second? Was that a second? There is a second. Okay, any discussion on what I'm going to make red? A game of colors now. Akil, go for it. Stand up.
Akil Tina, I guess that or not. So cultural evening is not included in the minimum fee aspect, and also there might be an issue with regards to the cultural evening with it being hosted at its current place, and there might be a fee involved with it. But that's for a later discussion. But cultural evening is not included in the minimum fee that it must include, so it's not in the bylaws or anywhere else.
Okie doke. Any more discussion on removing the part that's red? I'm gonna have to say, are there any objections? And if you don't want it, I haven't done it yet. Are there any objections? Oh, there are. Let's do a card raising vote. Isn't this fun? Get your cards ready. Get your cards ready. Woo, cards! Okay, are you ready? Look alive. Okay, green cards are going to mean we remove the red. Green cards will mean we remove the red part. Red parts will mean we keep the red part. So red if you want red, green if you want red to go away. Anybody confused on the voting? Okay, raise your green cards. Good. Raise your red cards. Well, that's clear. Okay. Wait, what do you want? Is there any more discussion? Oh, it's making me mad. Okay, any more discussion on the bold part? Nothing? Oh, Kim, you want to keep talking? No? Okay. Any more discussion? Okay. Are there any objections to the amendment to the resolution? Hearing none, motion passes. Are there any comments on the resolution? The whole thing now. Kirsten. This is an amendment to the amendment to the amendment, I'm gonna kill you.
I just wanted to say, is there any way we can maybe put in a deadline when the EXCO decided to cancel it? Because we still have the problem that they can withdraw at any time. If they think in November we cannot do it, they can just cancel the whole event, and then we have to make an SGA anyway. Is there any way we can put in a deadline? Like I'm asking the current EXCO, there is a way?
Thank you. Any more comments on the resolution? Akil, is that a hand? It looks like a half hand, an elbow, really. You're more than welcome to do that.
Akil Gina, IVSA alumni, can you stand at ease? I move to stand at ease for 5 minutes.
Any discussion on standing at ease? Any objections to standing at ease? Hearing none, you're at ease. You know what standing at ease means? Not leaving. But you can stand. EXCO, they need you in the front so that you can answer the question. If you're EXCO, that means you, Ellen. Ellen. Hey, you cannot leave the GA unless it's an emergency. I've told you that 7 million times. Is your bladder going to explode? Then go, but you better be quick. That bladder also better be exploding. Like you're leaking urine on yourself if you're leaving. Adele, were you going to die without more water? Seems doubtful. Okay, sit down. The chair calls the GA back to order at 12:12 Croatia time, and we will continue the discussion on the resolution. Magda.
Magda Janasch, IVSA Exco. So the resolution currently has a date of approximately 1 month from now that gives Exco the power to either further adjust or cancel the event at their discretion, depending on the progress that we're currently at. To answer the question that Kirsten raised, in the bylaws it states that if they would like to withdraw from the event, they have to withdraw before 3 months, 90 days before the event. They cannot withdraw after 90 days before the event. That is already stipulated in the bylaws, so we don't see any need to add any further date as to when they should be withdrawing before the event takes place. Does that answer the question?
You really are that. Okay, any more discussion on the resolution? Ryan?
Can I jump? I see something. Are they also aware of that 90 days? I get it that it's also on, it is in the bylaws, but are they aware of it?
Noted, and if they aren't aware, they will be made aware. Any more discussion on the resolution? Kirsten?
Kirsten, you have IVSA Austria, because they want to say sorry. But can we put in like that Expo is going to cancel it if they don't see? Because the problem is if they are ongoing problems after these 90 days, I mean, then we would maybe not have an event at all, or we would have an event where we stay there, have GAs, and then go home, and that's it basically. And maybe have a party and then go home. So I would love to add a deadline that the Expo is canceling it in that period, like before the 90 days. I know I need to look, but I cannot formulate it.
Okay, thank you. To each, no, to each, sorry, there's some hands. You've already spoken. Anybody? Zoe? Oh God. One of my little babies wants to speak.
Zoe Morris, IVSA staff mom, from the amendment, can you add a period after unexpected costs, please?
That's exactly what I want to do. Whoa, bam, look at Sam contributing. All right, next up. No more discussion on the resolution? Oh, is that a hand or an elbow? Akil?
Akil, Gina, IVSA alumni. I have a question. Should the above condition not be met by the 24th of August 2019, the event may be further adjusted or cancelled at the discretion of the executive committee. With that sentence, so if the expert decide on the 24th that they're going to further adjust, does that remove the ability to cancel the event after that? Because if I read it how it is, which I think is what Kirsten was also alluding to, which is if you read it how it is, it kind of says that if by the 24th you have to say we're going to further adjust or we're going to cancel. But now the question is, if you say further adjust and they don't abide by them, we can't cancel it. So now how do you proceed after that? So I think that's kind of the point that Kirsten's making is how do we, can we say if after further adjustment by this date, we have to cancel it. And with regards to Martha's point, there's a withdrawal and the cancellation, so the OC can withdraw, but that doesn't allow Exco to remove it.
It certainly does, thank you. Any more discussion on the resolution? None of you are allowed to speak to one another. You're forgiven for now. Any more discussion on Kirsten?
Kristen Abraham, IVSA Austria. I move to stand at ease for like 5 minutes so I can think about how I want to move that, what I want to move. Is that okay?
I hear you. You need a second. Any discussion? Oh, wait. No, I can't think about it. Okay, keep going. No? Any objections to standing at ease? Hearing none, you're at ease. I was just going to ask to make it a recess, but no one can leave, so. Blame Kirsten. You can all watch her write this. Also, another note, while we're actually in GA and not at ease, you cannot have side conversations. You're supposed to be paying attention and it's disruptive to the people around you. I'm receiving complaints. Don't do it anymore. Thank you. Now you can talk though.
Steps properly. So not everyone that I know too on that list has been paid. I really so it hasn't been checked out. So this is a list with people that might not stay. So we only have a few options here.
New officer.
We need to know if people that they care also people that has been helping.
Did you pay it? Because you're on the first.
No, I didn't.
Okay.
But it's also like 400 euros in the mine. So I kind of did. Not really.
So you did or not?
You
did or not?
I don't know.
Then at least those who have
Yeah, but I don't know I think so.
I think it gives them time to discuss the plans.
Okay, everybody, we're gonna start. You ready? Look alive. The chair calls the GA back to order at 12:21 Croatia time. Continuing the discussion on the resolution, the chair will entertain a motion to table the discussion on the resolution. Kristen,
Abraham, IVSA, Austria, I support.
quick explanation. They have the results back from the election, so we want to actually give the results and do the secretariat voting before lunch. So we're going to get that done now, and then we'll continue this after lunch. Any objections to tabling the discussion on the resolution? Hearing none, it's tabled. And now we will do, oh wait, hold on. The chair entertains the motion to take the election results off the table. Ellen? Any discussion? Any objections? Hearing none, we're now discussing the election results.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll be ready very soon.
Nothing but the best.
Okay, pay attention. Peter, election results, go.
All right. Good job, everyone. All the votes were valid, so no invalid votes. And we are going to present the results for the election of the IVSA officials for 2019-2020. Right, starting with the executive committee. The next committee coordinator for 2018-2019 will be beautiful. Congratulations, Anika Yodali, the new committee coordinator. All right. Can I have a drum roll for DFT? Just a heads up, all these photos were taken from Facebook. Viewer discretion is advised. Congratulations, Laura Stone from UK and Ireland. You are the new development manager. All right, next one. Congratulations to Meryl Loops from IVSA. Loops. You are the new External Relations Officer. All right, next one. Member Organizations Director. Congratulations to Anya Sitskevich from IVSA Croatia. You are the new member organization. Moving on to public relations coordinator. Congratulations to Kayani Fortunati #. He's the new public relations officer. Coordinator, sorry. Oops. Yes. My bad. Congratulations, Kayani. Kayani Small is the new Secretary General. Okay, last one on the executive committee. Congratulations to Katarina Luz from IVSA Germany. You are the new treasurer. Very close to us. Right, that concludes the results. Oh yes, of course. That concludes the results for the executive committee. So the people running that did not get elected, that was added to the secretariat ballots, you will see on the list that we will send out. So just to confirm, that's Julia Davis from Switzerland, Miran Abdul from IVSA Iraq, Christophoros from IVSA Greece, and Ellen Hernandez from IVSA Serbia, and Maria Ifroze from Bucharest. Right, so all of them, you will see the names added to the pool of secretariats. So you may also include them in your decision making. Right, let's go on to trustees. Sorry.
Exco point of order. The chair will have to recognize Exco votes before we move on to the next point of elections.
All right. The chair recognizes those people as the winners. Congratulations.
All right, trustees. So as you all know, there are space for 6 trustee members that you've all voted on. So there's no vote counts included. It's just the name of the 6 people elected. So yeah, the drum roll. Congratulations to Brandon Nettles from IVSA Serbia, Justin Abraham from IVSA Austria, Martha Jannes from IVSA Exco, Nina Schmidt from IVSA Denmark, Manos Ramos from IVSA Luna, and Perry Funder from IVSA Serbia. You are the new members of Trust.
mouth. The chair now recognizes these 6 beautiful people, including myself, as trust.
You want to take a picture? No?
Let's take it out.
Kirsty, they're on Facebook. I know everyone.
But all of those people didn't know.
It's beautiful. All right, moving on to chairs of committees and working groups. First one, working group on that. Congratulations to the division one from IVSA Exco. You are the new working group on alumni chair. Right. So the next one is already automatically selected. Congratulations to Bora Shindler from IVSA. Thank you. The next one was also automatically elected. Congratulations to Georgios. Thank you everyone to do that. Standing with one up. Congratulations to Andreas Papas from IVSA. He's the chair of Standing Committee on one half. All right. Standing Committee on Veg Education. Congratulations to Doda Onawalu from IVSA Nigeria. Last but not least, Standing Committee on Robots. Congratulations to Catalina Kukinidor from IVSA. Please, with any chair of Standing Committee on Wellness. Right.
The chair recognizes those people as the new chairs. Congratulations.
Okay, so I know you've all been waiting in anticipation to see who this will be. The host for the 69th IVSA Symposium. Congratulations to IVSA Indonesia. Looking forward to seeing what you guys can offer. All right, that brings us to the end of this results presentation. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the secretariat right now. So you don't forget one paper with all the nominees on. There's 21 secretariats. It's quite a lot, so I hope you had some time to think which 8 you're selecting. So just to revise, you have 16, a maximum of 16 crosses to make. So it's the same as trust. You will have 2 columns of blocks, so you can make a maximum of 16 crosses. And then also when you're done, just bring back your ballot, fold it twice, and then we will go out and count it again. Is everybody still happy and understand how this will work? Any questions? And can all the nominees for secretary please leave the room?
You can't see anything. It's because of the camera out.
All right, Tina, you may continue.
Okay, are you ready? All of you? With the picture taking? I guess Algeria may come down here.
I will say Austria. I will say Belgium. I will say China. I will say Croatia. I will say Czech Republic. Did I say Croatia? I will say Denmark. I will say Estonia. I will say Finland. I will say France. I will say Germany. I will say Ghana. I will say Greece. I will say Indonesia. I will say Iraq. I will say Italy. I will say the Netherlands. I will say Poland. I will say Portugal. I will say Romania. I will say Samoa. I will say South Africa. I will say South Korea. I will say Spain. I will say Switzerland. I will say Taiwan. I will say Thailand. I will say Tunisia.
Hey guys, we aren't at ease, so you shouldn't be talking. I know, it's tough, but wait for them to finish.
I will say Tunisia. I will say Turkey. I will say UK and Ireland.
You still shouldn't be talking. Okay, we're not at ease. France, seriously, sit down. Just wait a minute. I'll give you time to talk. I promise.
Is anybody from Croatia here?
It's coming.
Okay. Croatia. I will say Croatia.
Tina, are you done?
Yeah, I'm done.
The chair will entertain a motion to stand at ease. Brandon. Any discussion? Why are you all talking? A million times. Just listen. Any objections to standing at ease? Hearing none, we're at ease. Now you can talk. Is any MO still discussing classic Germany? Keep going. Germany, you have 1 minute. Okay, the chair calls the GA back to order at 12:53 Croatia time, which means you better be in a seat. You know the rules. Okay, now we will continue with elections. Tina, take it away.
IVSA Algeria. IVSA Austria. IVSA Belgium. IVSA China. IVSA Croatia. IVSA Czech Republic. IVSA Denmark. IVSA Estonia. IVSA Finland. IVSA France. IVSA Germany. IVSA Greece. IVSA Iraq. IVSA the Netherlands. IVSA Poland. IVSA Portugal. IVSA Italy. IVSA Romania. IVSA Samoa. IVSA South Africa. IVSA South Korea. Africa. South Korea.
I think
IVSA Spain. IVSA Switzerland. IVSA Taiwan.
I told him and like he was like
IVSA Thailand. IVSA Turkey. IVSA Yukon Island.
Who's your successor again? Oh, Laura.
Thank you very much.
The chair will entertain a motion to table elections. Anita. Next slide, that one's too long. Sure. It was a nice try, Anita. Any discussion? No. Any objections? None. It's tabled. Good, right? Okay. The chair will now entertain a motion to go into recess. Lisa. Any discussion? Any objections? We're in recess. Now, announcements.
Hey guys, so just wanted to say that today is the last day you can buy merchandise or FPD raffle tickets. They will be sold in this lunch break outside. And secondly, some of you haven't paid or picked up their auction items or for the OC fundraising. So I posted a list on Facebook. Please check if your name and bidding number is on there. And if it is, please go to the DAD stand as well to sort it out. Thank you.
That was it for announcements, right? Croatia, you good? Okay, go to lunch. We'll be back here at 2.
Ryan, how many minutes is it?
Very smart.
How many minutes is it?
It's lunch time. Yeah, other than here.
Yes. Wait, I'm gonna ask you.